is outstanding. I saw it once, I gotta see it again.
Are you attracted
It is
to me?
banging.
What?
Are you attracted to me? You give me indications that you are. Do you think about me when we aren't together?
Most AI movies want to explore what artificial intelligence might do to us, but Ex Machina turns it around. It asks the question of, what will we do to AI?
Ex
And then
Machina
it
was
lets the AI
fucking
win.
crazy
No other
fire.
film about AI has gone this far when it comes
That
to
was one of the
turning
most
empathy
satisfying
into a
scenes
weapon
I've
and
seen
turning the
too, when
viewer
she
into the
escaped
subject.
and then it
See, the
showed
movie
her in the
doesn't
street
ask you
walking
to
away.
understand AI.
It was fucking
It
beautiful.
dares you to trust it.
Not
and in
because I was
return,
rooting
well,
for her or
what makes
anything.
us
It's
the
just because,
experiment.
like,
Ex Machina was
well,
the
shit,
first
you know?
feature-length
It's like-
film written and directed
it's like a
by
flower
Alex
blooming,
Garland.
dog.
It's
It's
a
just
film
like,
about a
you know what I
young
mean?
programmer who's invited
And
to
he
administer
was-
a groundbreaking
I couldn't
Turing test
even
on a
tell
highly
you, bro.
advanced AI, only to uncover
A different
sinister
level
web
of
manipulation,
ridiculousness.
desire, and deception that questions what it truly means to be human. And believe it or not, this film is actually the result of a 20-year argument that Alex had with one of his close friends, a neuroscientist, about one of humanity's oldest and most unnerving questions: where does consciousness come from? Alex believed that it emerged from the complexity of systems, that it could be replicated, built, maybe even accidentally sparked by the right machine. But his friend believed otherwise. To him, consciousness wasn't just a byproduct of code or neurons. It was something deeper, maybe even unreachable by artificial means. And this
What?
disagreement became the foundation
No,
of
I
Ex
think it was
Machina.
scientifically,
And not
like,
just
your
as a
brain
story,
evolved
but
over
as
the
the
years,
emotional
right?
and
No, that's
thematic
how it works.
spine to explore how a machine
Like,
could
we
do
used to be
more
dumb
than
and then
its
we got
creator.
smarter? That's
Throughout
why
this
our-
analysis, we'll explore how Ex Machina redefines the Turing test by removing the element of deception, how the film manipulates the audience into empathizing
Don't
with
worry
the
about it.
machine, and why
We're
the
still here.
director deliberately avoids
Be in the
showing
moment.
us the outside world. So the
That
first
scene right
question
there,
is,
that
what is
scene.
the Turing test? Well, over the years, the definition of a Turing test has changed, but the overall purpose has remained intact. It was created by British mathematician Alan Turing as a way to measure a machine's ability to show intelligent behavior. The original idea from 1950 was
Dog, is he
text-only
fucking AI?
communication, like typewritten
Why is he looking like
messages.
that?
He called it the imitation game.
Like, not to
And
be-
the
not to
reason he
be
chose
hating,
text
like,
was
not to
to
be
remove
an
bias,
asshole, I'm
so that
just-
things like appearance,
fucking photo
voice,
look
or
fake.
body language wouldn't influence the judgment. The only thing being tested was how the machine thinks and responds in a conversation. Alright, so the way it works is that a person talks to both a human and a machine, but they can't see who's who. Only text communication, like in a chat, and if the person can't tell which one is the human, then the machine has now passed the test. That means it's good enough at acting human that it fooled someone into thinking it is human. Today, the concept of a Turing test has evolved. While text is still the most common format, it's not a strict requirement anymore. People now apply the test idea to spoken conversations, robots with faces, or even virtual avatars. But regardless of how it's done, the point stays the same. Can a human tell whether they're interacting with a machine or another human?
I'm not a real person, and that's the point.
So in Ex Machina, the big question is, can Ava, the AI, convince Caleb that she's more than
Oh,
just
yeah.
a machine?
She had
Not
him
just because of how
fucking
smart she
wrapped
is, but
around the
because of
finger,
how
bro.
human
Had him
she
on
feels.
lock.
The film completely eliminates the mystery factor of the Turing
And I'm gonna be
test,
honest,
so
bro. If
instead
I'm the
it
fucking
reveals
big
the truth
scientist,
from the
dude, with this
beginning.
AI,
We are
with this
already aware
crazy
that
shit
Ava
right
is a
here,
robot.
and
It's
I'm
just in a Turing
inviting
test.
this
She
young
shouldn't
smart
even be
kid who's
examined.
also in the
We'll
robotics and
attack that.
shit.
If I hid Ava from you so you just heard her voice, she would pass for human. The real test is to show you that she's a robot and then see if you still feel she has consciousness.
Wow.
Caleb begins
Oh
to
yeah, he
feel
did
bad
try.
for
I need to
Ava, and
really,
he
I need
thinks
to
of a
watch the
plan
movie
to
again.
help
But I'm
her
saying I
escape.
wouldn't let you talk to her alone, bro, because I'm knowing, like, bro.
Things
Look
start to
at him,
become
dog.
so
Like, look at the way,
mind-boggling
not
to
him,
that
the
he even
actor, but
begins
like, dog, in the
questioning
movie
his
he was
own
looking
biological
wild.
humanity by cutting himself open to check for wires.
Don't
But
ever do
one of
that.
the most clever aspects of this movie, even before Caleb becomes fully manipulated, is that within the first 25 minutes, Nathan's AI has already passed the basics of a Turing test. And many viewers may have missed this moment as well, but it actually occurs when Kyoko enters Caleb's room the first morning.
Oh, yeah,
during
she
his
was a
stay.
robot, too.
He's already convinced that this moment that she's human, and it's not until later that he finds out that she's a robot. That was actually the experience that triggered him into spiraling and thinking that maybe he himself was also a robot. And although they never speak to each other because Kyoko was designed by Nathan not to speak, it was her body language and realistic movements that convinced Caleb. Because if you remember from what I've already mentioned previously, that within itself is its own form of Turing test. Now the film presents many forms of manipulation, and one of the first steps it takes towards this approach is having the story told initially from Caleb's perspective. detective, someone who already feels bad for Ava. From his perspective, Nathan's mistreatment of the machines is wrong. And after bonding with Ava and hearing her say that Nathan can't be trusted,
He
Caleb
had the
begins
whole
to
game
question
fucked
everything.
up, dog. What are
Nathan's
you
motives,
doing? You gotta peep
experiment,
the whole
and even
time
his
that it's a
own role
bot.
in it. And
What are you
although this
talking
isn't a
about?
review, in my personal opinion,
But
I do think the character of Caleb grows to trust everything.
Because if I'm being honest, whilst I was watching the movie, it was kind of like a, yo, these robots aren't, they ain't, like, you know what I mean? Not like that, but at the same time, it was almost like,
7 sessions throughout
like,
the film.
damn, dog,
During
you're
the
doing kind of
second
these fucked up
session, right
experiments.
after
Like, why are you making them
power
so
outages, when
human
Ava
if you're
tells
gonna make
Caleb
them,
that Nathan
if you're
isn't
gonna
his
put them in
friend
these
and that he shouldn't trust
so
him.
non-human,
And Caleb almost instantly begins to sympathize
projects
with
and
and
tests
trust
and shit,
Ava.
right?
Now
Like, it was
remember,
almost like
this
you
is their
kept
second
fucking around
session.
and making them
A
like,
clear sign of this comes
like if
during
it,
him
like
and
if he was
Nathan's
playing
first
God,
dinner
almost it
together,
almost made you
when
feel like
Nathan
he was the
asked
villain
him
at the
what was
start.
discussed during the power
And then when the
outage.
shit
And instead of
flipped,
telling the
and he
truth,
was flipping the
Caleb
shit the
lies
whole
and says
time,
nothing
it was almost like, oh
happened,
my god, he's
already
right,
showing
dude.
early
These
signs
fucking robots
of
going
Ava's
crazy, and
influence
then, hey, you know.
manipulation. But to be fair, to a certain extent, we can't fully blame Caleb for it because he was technically manipulated by Nathan and Ava simultaneously. I mean, he was specifically handpicked for this experiment after Nathan collected his search history and behavior data. Then he went on to design and build Ava to appeal to Caleb's preferences, revealing how Caleb was the real test subject all along. So yeah, that explains how Caleb was manipulated. But what about us, the audience? If you found yourself feeling sorry for Ava, then what
I did. I'm not gonna lie. Not like, not crazy. I knew she was a robot, but at the same time, like,
well,
I don't know
we're going
about
to
feeling
talk about
bad.
that right after I pay some bills.
I didn't
with
feel
a quick
bad,
message
but it was
from
almost
today's
like,
sponsor,
I felt like,
and even your home comes in.
I felt like the dude was an asshole.
With my
Like,
link
not
in
an
the
asshole like that, but I
description,
felt
you
like
get
he
their
was
best deal.
super,
Just $2
like,
per month with 4 months free,
like
which is
fucking,
equivalent
I
to
don't know,
an 84%
manipulative and like,
discount. Plus, with their
like he had all the
45-day
fucking
money-back
power.
if you
Like he had
get
these robots and
manipulated. Here's
shit.
the twist.
He's doing these
If you
this
felt
wild
sorry
shit.
for Ava, then you, the viewer, was also being manipulated. But let me show you exactly how Alex Garland pulled it off. First, he limits Ava's perspective to only Caleb's view. Almost every time we see Ava throughout the film, it's through Caleb's perspective. We
Okay.
don't get a scene where she's alone thinking, planning, or reflecting. Instead, every bit of behavior is filtered through Caleb's interactions with her, which almost nudges us to subconsciously trust Caleb's judgments. And only towards the end of the film, leading up to her escape, is where the camera begins to cut to Ava alone, as she eventually transitions to becoming our new main character. Now, whether these aspects of the film convinced you or not, that's not
I'm
really
not gonna
the
lie, bro.
point.
This scene
The
was
point is to
badass though.
acknowledge the
Like
film's
seeing her
approach at
switch
attempting to
was
convince
crazy
you.
fire,
By
bro. I'll be
controlling
honest.
what we
Not
know
like,
about
not
Ava,
like saying I was
Alex
rooting
limits
for her,
our
but like saying
ability to
like,
question her intentions.
you know what I mean?
Another thing the director
was just
does
like,
is he
wow.
establishes Ava as a victim from the start. From the moment she's introduced, Ava is framed as innocent, curious, and gentle, imprisoned without having done anything wrong. Fearful
Well,
of
no, I
Nathan
think she was
and
more
desperate
framed as
to
a
escape.
robot. I don't know.
This narrative
It was
setup
really a
echoes
mind fuck.
familiar
I think
tropes.
from the
The imprisoned
perspective
woman,
of the
the
dude,
tyrannical
that's where you
captor,
had
and the
most of your
potential
more
rescuer,
emotion in.
inviting the
Like you
audience
can
to
see
take
how
their
the
side
dude fell
without
for it
question.
and got like
Alex
fucking
uses
bamboozled,
storytelling
and that
shorthand
fucked
to
you
make
up
us
because
feel
you
like
felt
we
so
already
genuinely
understand
through the
Ava's
dude
role.
that was his
She's the
experience.
victim and
Not so
Caleb's
much
the
as like the
hero.
robot
And
to
just to
human
make sure
being.
we're on the same page,
Like,
storytelling
I mean,
shorthand
if you
refers
dial
to
it
the use
back
of
even
familiar
more, you just
tropes,
be like, I'm watching a
character
fucking
types,
movie.
visual cues, or narrative setups that quickly convey meaning to the audience without needing a detailed explanation. It's like a narrative cheat storytellers use to communicate complex ideas fast because they trust the audience to recognize the pattern. Some
What
examples
other
of this is
movie
how
was he in that he was
character
like a
in lab
villain and
coat
shit?
in a lab equals a scientist,
That actor
or how
was
a
science
woman
dude.
locked in a room, soft-spoken and fearful, is a victim or a damsel, or how glasses and books equals a smart or nerdy character. These are universal visual or narrative shortcuts filmmakers use because audiences instantly get what they mean. Now in Ex Machina, the script never gives Ava clear motive or explanation for her actions. She never says, I want to be free because I want to explore the world, or I want to experience life. Instead, we're left to fill in the blanks based on her tone, her expressions, and her vulnerability. This
Okay.
omission is intentional. It's so the director can let us project our own assumptions onto her, just like Caleb does. We feel like we know her, but everything we think we know is based on interpretation and not truth.
Does Ava actually like you or not? Or whether she's pretending to like you?
Well, why would she do that?
I don't know. Maybe if she thought of you as a means of escape.
The final twist is the reveal of our test, the audience. When Ava escapes and leaves Caleb behind, it recontextualizes everything. It's not just Caleb
Dummy.
who was used, it's us too. If you felt any sympathy, wanted her to escape,
I was
and
shocked,
never
I'm not
questioned
gonna
her
lie.
deeper motives, then Ava passed her test. She convinced us. But this also means we failed Garland's test. We misjudged her. The moment Ava shuts the door, Garland reveals that we were part of the experiment all along.
Garland was
And
fucked
this is
too. He
also
couldn't get out of that
represented
shit.
very heavily in the cinematography. And if you were wondering about those telltale signs in the cinematography, well, let's take a look at them. When Ava goes to enter the elevator to leave the lab where Caleb is trapped behind the door and Kyoko and Nathan are on the floor dead, we watch Ava step into the elevator from Caleb's point of view. But the final shot actually isn't from his perspective. It's from ours. The camera faces her directly from a spot where no character is standing. And as the doors close, the camera slowly pushes in as if we are the ones being left behind. This is Garland's quiet way of telling us, like Caleb, we were never just watching. We were being manipulated as well. So yeah, once again, that's the film attempting to manipulate us using techniques like limiting perspective, using familiar character tropes, withholding motive, echoing real-world power dynamics, and flipping the narrative at the end, all to make us feel like we're observing when in reality, we're participating in a Turing test of our own. And the final aspect of the film that I would like to explore is something subtle, but hugely important. Why did Alex Garland deliberately avoid showing us the outside world? I mean, sure, on the surface, this could be chalked up to budget restraints. The film is contained, minimalist, and focused on just a few characters. But narratively, it feels intentional because by isolating us inside of this
Dog, what are you
sterile,
fucking talking about? I mean, what did you want him to do?
Caleb,
Like,
Nathan,
the
and
whole
Ava,
shit was in the
Garland
fucking
isn't
house.
just saving money. He's controlling our
In the
world.
middle of the
He's cutting
mountains,
us off
like-
just like Caleb is cut off, and maybe that's the point. By keeping the outside world hidden, Garland makes the compound feel like reality itself. There's no context.
I don't know. I think
no
he's
anchor,
dragging it a little
only the
here. I think
text.
he's reaching
it
a
makes
bit.
Ava's desire
I mean,
to
it's in the
escape feel
fucking
abstract and almost
middle
mythical.
of nowhere.
Some viewers might actually
the
want her to
forest
get
and shit.
out, but to where? That's before we actually see the outcome of the film. It also reflects a larger theme. Artificial intelligence raised in isolation. Ava's never seen the outside world, and neither have we. So when she finally steps into it, it's not a moment of
Man, I'm gonna be
clarity,
honest
it's
though.
actually a moment
This
of
moment had me
mystery.
fucked
We're
up.
left to
I
wonder
kind
what
of
she'll
rooted for
become
her a
once
little
she's
bit.
unobserved.
I was like, hey,
And
go
Garland may be
off then. Go
suggesting
off.
that
Go
true
ahead. Go
intelligence
do what
and
you
true
gotta do.
danger
Just don't
begins
rule.
not
Just
when
don't
AI
kill the world.
fools us,
But
but when it starts
go
making its own
explore.
choices
You've been a
and
bot
no
the
longer
whole
needs
time.
our permission. And
But
because we never see what that world looks
cold-blooded.
like, we're left with
Garland's
a
an
lingering
idiot, though.
unease. She's out there somewhere, and we have no idea what happens next. See, most AI films flood us with futuristic cities, flying cars, or massive societal shifts. But Ex Machina does the opposite. It strips away the future entirely, and in doing so, it goes further than any AI movie at this time has ever gone. So after everything we've explored, the manipulation of Caleb, the emotional baiting of the audience, the haunting ambiguity
His name
of
Caleb
Ava's
or Garland?
escape,
What the fuck?
eerie
I thought it was
decision
Garland.
to
I
never
forgot the
show
whole
us
shit.
outside world, it
I didn't know the
becomes clear
names
that
till he
Ex
said it.
Machina
Why is he
isn't
throwing me
just
off now?
about artificial intelligence. It is artificial intelligence in cinematic form. And yeah, I know that sounds a bit dramatic, but in a lot of ways it's true. It doesn't just ask if a machine can think. It tests whether we, the audience, can think clearly in the face of emotion, empathy, and control. It pushes the boundaries of what stories about AI can do, and not with tension or spectacle, but with silence and tension and the terrifying power of subtlety. No other film about AI has ever turned the Turing test on the audience, or left us questioning whether we passed. Ex Machina doesn't ask if a machine can fool a human. It asks if we're even capable of recognizing when we're being fooled. And by the time we've even realized it, well, the test is already over.
Ooh.
And don't forget to click the link in the
Is that it? That was a
description on
banger
your
video, man.
exclusive
That was
site.
actually fire. That was outstanding. Shout out to bro. I'm subbing right now. I'm already subbed.